this book ended up being fifth on my list altogether. It's above First Impressions. Unceasing, the third book in the Queen's Alpha series by W.J. May. Uh, it appears that these books, there was one a month in 2018, which these books are oddly competent. Like, yeah. We left off with Kat and company being chased by and then arriving at the sanctuary, but like they couldn't get in because like Dylan and Tanya are bleeding out, and Cass has been shot with an arrow, and they're trying to get inside, but they can't because the doors won't open. And the doors do open, and the bridge that they cross breaks, and their wounds get healed, and the people chasing them are right outside the door waiting for them to come out, and it is yet to be seen if they can stay. Yeah, the court wizards sent ahead that they'd be arriving, so that's fun. They do end up being able to stay. Dylan has been here before, but he doesn't tell Kat that. He also doesn't like it here. And she goes drinking with her friends and a chick named Rose. No one seems to like Rose. She's nosy and an annoying flirt to Dylan, which Kat doesn't like. And Rose is also a wolf like Dylan is, so... Cass, Rose, and Dylan go hunting, and Kat and Tanya hate her. Dylan came here when he was very young, and while safe, this place can be kind of a prison. He jumped off the monastery cliff. The monastery is overlooking a cliff, so he jumped off of it and turned into a wolf, I'm assuming, based on what happens at the end of this book. This book kind of went wild in the same way that Whims of Fae does, because I really wasn't expecting it, but I don't know what I was expecting. It was after this book that I read the other descriptions for the rest of the books, and I just... like, this book gets so wild. Like, if you want to know the twist, I highly recommend that you click off of this video and go read the books, cause I'm gonna say it, this shit was fucking wild. Anyway, where did I leave off? Dylan and Kat haven't talked about the whole love thing. He acts like he's in love with her, but he won't say it. And he's also he's also kind of not like doing anything about it. Like he's protective of her, and he like is touching her in the way that you touch somebody that you're in love with consensually, and like things that you can do that are appropriate in public around children. And it's like pissing her off because he's not kissing her or anything like that, or having fun touchy times. There's some guy who like messed with them, so Cass teaches Kat how to fight, and they have a 2-hour lesson with platonic teasing, and it's kind of great because they're kind of like brother and sister. Dylan is mad at her for trying to stop the guy who attacked him, and also mad at her for trying to learn how to fight. But then he's like, fine, I guess it's a good idea, but I'm gonna be the one to teach you how to fight. And so he starts teaching her how to fight. And yeah. He stops talking to Kat for a little bit before he teaches her how to fight, which is ridiculous because like Kat is a really good example of the defenseless princess turning into her own advocate, which is one of my favorite tropes in in media. I mean, I guess also in history. I guess that probably has happened in history before. I just don't study very much monarchical history, so I wouldn't know. Yeah. They also get Kat some pants because this entire time she's been wearing dresses, so they get her some pants. And they have fun training, and yeah. Dylan wants to go back to the way things were before Kat said that she loved him, but Kat's like, I can't. What? Kat can also make fire come out of her hands, which is a shocking development for both her and me. She can't control it, but like the guy who runs the monastery takes her to a library and she reads about her mother, and all info on her mother was gone once she died in the castle. And her mother was supernatural, so that's fun. It's probably why her brother can control the hellhounds. The royal army has its own supernatural, so they attack, and Kat uses her fire and sends them running. Now people are scared of her. Also, Dylan is a royal on the run. He's also a prince, and his family is dead, and he can't go back because he's a coward. Yay. He also, at this point, admits to being in love with her, and now the archers come from, like, the army outside, and, Cat dives off the cliff and comes back a fucking dragon. What? Rose also joins them and leaves with them. Like, I wasn't expecting that. I was reading it and it's just like, wait, what? This bitch is a whole ass fucking dragon. Like, oh my god. Like, oh my god. Like, I already went through a lot of my comments that I had. I don't mind Cat being useless because her archetype is going from damsel in distress to badass. I love that archetype. Cass and Cat have a platonic relationship, which is great because I feel like male-female platonic relationships aren't explored enough. I also feel like male-male platonic relationships aren't explored enough because generally anytime there's a same-sex relationship in a movie or something, it's always about like being gay. And like, not to say that gay people have had the best representation in media. However, like, two dudes can just be friends without them having to be brothers or cousins or father and son. Two dudes can just be friends and like not be mentor mentee. They can just exist in the same space and be best fucking bros. I think a lot of the gay thing though has to do with the fandom surrounding the things. Huh. Anyway. Also, I like that fucking Dylan hasn't really shared like all of the things that have happened to him and what has made him the way he is. And you can love someone without knowing the full extent of their trauma. For some people, it's better that way because knowing their trauma just makes them sad and then they feel pity. And the person who has been traumatized does not want your pity if they say that to you. If they do want your pity, that's different. But if they don't want your pity, then they're not going to tell you because they don't want you to pity them. They just want you to love them. There is a difference. Like, the thing that really bugs Kat, I think, with her relationship with Dylan is him lying to her a lot of the time. Like, it's one thing to not tell someone about your trauma, even if they don't know that you have it, but to, like, lie and be like, everything's fine, and, like, I don't love you, and, that's a whole other story. Dylan doesn't want her to fight, but, like, my guy, this is her fight. This whole thing with her brother is her fight. Let it go. Also, you see how often she runs off by herself? Like, let her fight. Yeah. And like, I don't know why I like this twist, because usually with a twist like this, I would be like, well, there was no setup for it, and there wasn't even an inkling that she was going to turn into a dragon. There wasn't even an inkling that she had any magical abilities. And like, sure, her brother has magical abilities, but Cat didn't say that he could turn into a fucking dragon. The most that he can do is control some hellhounds, which like, but like, I don't know. I just really like the twist. It came out, I didn't know that things could come out of left field and be good. Yeah. I guess it's like because she has red hair, so I guess it's kind of implied. But does that mean that her brother can also turn into a dragon? That'd be a fight I'd like to see. Her and her brother fighting as dragons. That'd be pretty fucking cool. I don't know how you'd write that though. I tend to get very confused in battles, so I don't know. Like I said, this book goes above First Impressions. It's actually at the top of the list for now, but we always have the sequel to The Root,